Welcome to another episode of Brand You, the one show that focuses all about attracting versus chasing business. So if you're into that, go ahead and you make sure you hit that subscribe button above. Hi, my name is Mike Cuevas, the real estate marketing dude. And on this video, what we're going to talk about is lead generation. Is it dead? Not quite, but it certainly has changed, and that's what we're going to discover right now. Now, I'm not sure about you, but the days of cold calling, prospecting, door knocking, and doing a lot of these old cool strategies that most of us hate doing seem to be long gone. Now, there's a reason why Zillow and Realtor.com actually switched to a referral-based model. If you recall, it wasn't too long ago when they used to sell everyone a bunch of leads. But today, what they're doing is changing up that business model. And the reason why that is occurring is not because lead generation is changing. It's occurring because consumer habits are changing. The question is, are you changing with it? So let me give you an example. About 2.5 years ago, I purchased a car. And what I ended up doing was I was looking for information online and I ended up opting into a car website. Now, please don't ever do that again so you don't go through what I did. Within 3 to 5 minutes, I had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different car salesmen calling me, hounding me, texting me, emailing me. They didn't approach it in a nice way either. They're like, hey, you're trying to buy a car? Hey, you're trying to buy a car? It was extremely frustrating. I was extremely turned off. What's really interesting though about that experience is that once I realized all these people were cold calling me, not only was I annoyed, but I instantly thought, I'm like, holy crap, this is what happens when someone inquires on Zillow or Realtor.com or any online platform for that matter. Now, it was after that I told myself I would never ever opt into a car form again for that very reason. But what's really interesting is the car I did end up buying, I used the salesman who sent me a text message. The salesman sent me some content. The salesman was actually courting me with information and not trying to sell me anything. And I ended up closing that car with him. And no different than what is exactly happening within the real estate industry today. Let me first define what I mean by real estate lead generation. Real estate lead generation is any time you get a prospect or another party to inquire or generate interest in exchange for hoping to sell them something down the road. That is lead generation. Now, what's happening in the real estate space is a lot of the lead generation tactics, I believe, are just getting old and tired. Let me give you another example. 5 years or so ago, before everybody was doing Facebook ads, it was a lot easier to generate a lead at that time. And the question is sort of, why is that? Well, one, there wasn't all of the clutter, but two is I believe consumer habits have changed. As a matter of fact, I've personally seen it happen in my own business. And people were no longer wanting to be sold anything. In fact, they wanted the complete opposite. They just wanted to be served. And how I ended up converting so many different people, whether as a referral or whoever, was through education and through content. You see, lead generation will always stay the same, but it will take different shapes and sizes and or forms. And what's happening right now, I believe, in our industry is the way that consumers decide and or make their decisions, that's what's changing. So what does this mean and how do we change with it? Well, we believe that the future of real estate lead generation is going to have a lot to do with consistent content creation or content creation in general. See, when we talk about content creation, what is it? Well, content creation is anything that we can create, a video, a blog post, anything that demonstrates what we do for a living, or anything that demonstrates and puts us in front of our ideal client. You see, we live in a content-centered business. There's a whole television channel dedicated to our profession called HGTV. And all HGTV is literally a spitting image of a real estate agent's or a lender's life, as a matter of fact. And what all they're doing on that show are telling case studies. They're exploring the process. But all of that stuff is content, guys. And what I'm getting at with content is how you market your brand. It's how you stay on top of mind. It's how you stay at the forefront. It's what you multi-purpose and build out on a YouTube channel, on a website. And the reason for this is because consumers have a lot of information at their disposal. Let's put it this way. Do you really think that the consumer or a lead that you inquire with is going to convert on the first call? Probably not. They're probably not going to even call you until after they have visited your website. They checked you out. They have an idea of how you roll. The more content you have on your website, the chances of them being converted greatly increase because it's the content that allows them to get an idea of how you do things. Not necessarily what you do, but how you do it, which is ultimately how people make their decisions. And if a large portion of your current business is reliant upon a lead generation site or service that you don't own, your business is sitting up on a house of cards because it only takes one market shift to cut it all right down. Yes, lead generation isn't dead, but it certainly has changed. And when you combine typical lead generation with content creation, that is what we believe the wave of the future is going to be. You see, leads can be created through a number of different ways, but getting them to convert is a whole nother thing. And in a world where people don't want to be sold, they want to be served. You can use content as a way to help somebody reach that purchasing decision in your market. And I don't want to tell you any of this stuff to scare you. That's not my point at all. What I'm actually saying is quite the opposite. There's a huge opportunity in front of you because the agent who starts creating content consistently has a YouTube channel with several playlists, has a buyer series on their site or a seller series on their site, or maybe they have a local TV series or local video series. Regardless of what it is, the agent that has a lot more content out and multi-purposed is a lot more referable than the one who doesn't. The agent, at least in the eyes of the general public, that has a ton of content up on their site, in their point of view, is a lot better or more skilled at the job than the one who doesn't. You see, content creation is exactly how we position our brand to convert, to lead, and more importantly, to build your authority and earn the trust of the people that we serve. At the end of the day, 96% of consumers hire the agent over the brand they're affiliated with. Therefore, that is why you should be at the forefront of your brand, and the agents that create content around it are just going to be better suited for the online world going forward. But what you can also use your content for is for transactional marketing. So for example, when you're working with somebody, you can use that content to educate them during the process. You can use that content to convert them during the buying and or listing presentation at the same time. But my point being is that as you create more and more content in your brand, you leverage it for further education and to earn further trust and make sure your clients know why they hired you to begin with. I really hope this video gave you another way to sort of look at lead generation and what's sort of coming down the pipeline. If you like the information here and you like the type of content we create, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Brand You. This is the only show on YouTube that focuses on attraction-based marketing strategies for people in the real estate industry. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. My name is Mike Cuevas, the Real Estate Marketing Dude, and we'll see you on our next series. Thanks for watching.